If he was here and I said to him, let's build a statue for you, he'd tell me I was out of my mind. You're crazy, get out of here. I don't want to talk to you. But I would tell him, you know, Coach, what you did, what you accomplished, is part of the school. And we got to remember that. We can't forget it.
He'd be pissed off. I mean, he'd be embarrassed. And, you know, I would know that his response is right now, it's like, who the hell am I? You know, I'm no better than anybody else.
I think initially he would say, I don't deserve it, because that's the motto said, Hamada. And a lot of us would just simply say, well, it's going to be because it's important for everybody, all the constituencies of Iolani to know that we are honoring what they already believe about you. Down here, I wrote that achievements are important, but Ed goes beyond achievements, and so should we all. You know, we look at somebody, he achieved this and this, that's fine. What kind of person is he? In the 4 Gospels, Jesus said over and over, help those who need help, clothe the naked, feed the hungry, tend to the wounded. Ed did it. Now, he did that. Let me illustrate that. Years ago, St. Louis played some other school, not Iolani, and the sophomore at St. Louis went down under the initial kickoff, dove head first, hit a guy, broke his neck. Many weeks, I don't know how long it was, Ed came to my office and he said, would you care to come to the hospital with me? Sure. Who? I only mentioned that St. Louis player. And I said, okay. You know the boy? No. Oh, you know the parents? No. We went. The parents knew who he was. But Ed Hamada, what kind of guy is he? He reaches out because you're part of the football fraternity and we're all sorry about what happened. But that's the kind of guy he was. Not many people do that.
You know, outside of football, off the field and stuff, he was the most universally loved man ever. He had that charm about him, you know, that presence of love, I guess, you know, but you know, on the field, man, he was a tough son of a gun, man. I mean, he was mean, and that was the magic of him, is that he could get us to do things that we never thought we could do. And I think he did it through caring. You know, he'd always make sure guys had rides home. He never, you know, wanted people to catch the bus home or walk home. He always make sure you were fed. I mean, food was, you know, we'd have food after the game, before the game. He made sure you had lunch. He just, he did the little things to show you that he cared about you more than just being a football player.
My sons and my grandkids, they all loved Eddie. They all loved the coach. And I talked to my sons, and I asked one of them, you know, tell me your impression of Coach Hamada. And the one son says, you know, Coach Hamada would see us and in the hallway, and he would say, good morning, Robbie. And he said, and in just that good morning, what you heard was, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're paying attention to your teachers. I hope you're thanking them for giving you the knowledge. I hope you being a good student and studying. I hope you be at practice today on time, and that you'll really give it your all for yourself and your teammates. Just in that one good morning, he said, you got all of that from Coach Hamada, you know?
He was asked to give speeches all the time, weddings, everything, and he'd make me type it on this 5x8 card. And Mr. Hamada was a perfectionist, you know. And if it was, he changed it, and type it again. Oh my gosh, you know, not like computers where you can delete, right? But it was fun working for him. I learned a lot working for him too. His givingness, he always gave, you know. Always at the last minute I used to think, how can he do that, you know? People ask him to get somebody to do something, 20 people. He says, okay. Then he'd get the boys, and the boys would all do it. I don't know if they did it because of fear or because, you know, they just respected him. My makeup is running. No, I don't put makeup.
You know, when you talk about the coach, you talk, you know, you think about the one-team philosophy. When I coached with Eddie, I learned about the one team, and it became part of my own personality, so to speak. But then I left, and I was away for 20 years. And then my grandchildren, they started playing sports. So like any other grandparent, I'm going to come and support the team. So the first time I showed up to watch a volleyball game, I walked into the gym, and I walked up to the top row, and I sat down, and I looked down, and the first thing I noticed was this big one team in the floor. I came to watch a drama play, and I came to see a halau. Then as I looked around, I saw, you know, grade school kids, high school kids, everybody walking around in one-team t-shirts, one-team hats, logos of one team on everything. It wasn't just a football thing anymore. You know, you ask some of the kids that were around, how did we become one team? And they couldn't tell you. Some could, some couldn't.
You know, when I go down to lower school and I talk to the whole lower school, and I ask them, who knows who coach is? And, you know, early on, a lot of hands. As the years go by, less and less. And that worried me, and that bothered me. And for our students, and even some of our faculty and staff, not to know who this man was, not to know why Iolani School is what it is was very disturbing to me. That he cannot be forgotten.
I started thinking, how would we assure that future generations learned the real story on one team? And Hugh Yoshida and I played golf quite often. And one day we were playing golf, and I said, Hugh, you know the one team philosophy at Iolani? I said, let me tell you what I saw when I went back and watched my grandchildren. And I said, you know, I've talked to kids, and they know all about one team, but they can't tell me why or how Iolani became one team. Somehow, we have to capture how Iolani became this one team school. And then Hugh said, you know, that's right. We gotta assure that future generations understand where this came from. So he said, you know what? I'm gonna call Cal Oishi. From there, we had a small group of myself and Hugh Yoshida and Wendell Look and Chris Shimabukuro. And we would go to Zippy's and talk, you know, is this possible? How would we do it? What would it look like? You know, it was just a little seed. And the next thing I knew, it went to the board, and the board approved it.
The responsibility is just not one person. it's all of us, and I think that's why we're doing all this. I mean, you know, people are gonna say, you know, coach don't want that, this and that. Yeah, coach don't want it. Yeah, but we want it. It's important to this school. It's important to the future generations. You know, you wanna perpetuate what this place is all about, and what he's taught you, and what he stood for and stuff. And you don't want it to be lost. You don't want this place to become like any other school. This is a special place. Yeah, times have changed, but the values that he stood for still stand strong today.